Thank you for the warm welcome, sir. For the theme addresses, I would like to invite Mr. Sakate Khaitan, sir. He is senior partner of Khaitan Legal Associates and member of Board of Governors, PEMTech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Anirudh. Uh, Anamalu ma'am, thank you so much for supporting BIMTech and being here to deliver the keynote speech. Harivanshi, thank you so much for all BIMTech would not be where it is without you. You are the leading light of BIMTech. Uh, Dr. Chaudhary, for the work that you've done to get this award and honor us by accepting it from BIMTech. Faculty members, students, insurance stakeholders, thank you so much for supporting BIMTech in these times and being present and hearing us. Um, well, from me, good morning, all of you. To you, good afternoon. I seem to be giving a speech every time during lunchtime, India time. It's not the best time to give a speech because it appears that everybody's eaten and going to sleep. So please, can I request you to stand up, stretch? We have a long day to go and some exciting things to hear. So with that, I start with the theme, which is resilience in risk society. Um, when I was looking at this theme address, and I was discussing with my colleagues as to how should I address this particular topic. What it took me back to how society is formed. Uh, Society effectively is formed by a social contract where we give up a number of our rights for the greater good. That is the very basis of society. And when I look back and I look at insurance, essentially what insurance does is that it identifies, isolates, prices, and then pools risk. And with that pooling of risk, creates financial resilience and gives psychological safety at country, society, and individual level, such that each of us can go about doing our daily work knowing that we will not be financially destitute, and risks that have and can be financially priced can be pooled and then given to somebody else. It creates mind space and pathways for economic activity while diversifying risk. In its very core, insurance itself creates the resilience that a society requires for economic activity. We are in unprecedented times, absolutely unprecedented. It was not even considered that somebody like me would be able to be locked down at home for 6.5 months. For the last 30 years of my career, I have never been in one city for this long. And at the same time, there is adaptability. This colloquium itself is evidence of that we can adapt to uncertainty and to times very quickly. However, there are certain things, no matter how adaptable we are, it is not possible for us to remain resilient unless we have the psychological safety that we are taken care of. So, in this theme address, I'd like to talk about resilience in three areas. The first is the individual, the second is the organization, and third is the country. And when I say country, it is society. And in each of these three areas, in this colloquium, what we have taken up are three different aspects of risk. The first is business interruption. The second is health. And the third is the leveraging of technology for the purposes of diversifying both individual and financial risk. The topics are very topical, if I can say that. We have a fantastic panel of people who are leaders in their own right in each of these subjects to talk about it. The intent of the colloquium would be to come out with themes as well as um, recommendations as to what can be done by the industry in regards to these risks. So I take the first one, which is individual. When we talk about individual, I go back to what my grandfather told me. Uh, when I first started working, I was working 15 to 18 hours a day, hardly sleeping. And he walked into my bedroom once and he said, Saket, you need to look after your health. Without your health, you will not be able to do anything. And as society grows, as we become more and more busy in our daily lives, health is something that is, I consider to be wealth. It is also a fact, given the pandemic, we all know we will fall ill, and these will be outside our control. What the industry certainly can do for the individual is to diversify the financial risk that arises from falling ill. And here, the industry has played a part. We have seen that uptake of health insurance during pandemic has been close to 40 to 30 to 40%. We've also seen society deal with this by, for example, in the US, universal coverage, Obamacare, as we've seen. In the UK, we have NHS. To look after individual health, it is a recognition that individual health leads to the development of society. The second is something that we were talking about just before this event started, is rationalizing of products. It needs to be simple. It needs to be understood by individuals. And here, tech can play a big part. In InsurTech, if you have a single page policy which is easily understood as to what is covered, and settlement of claims happens through blockchain or other technology, the confidence of the individual in the industry will certainly grow. The last is, we are all servants to economic activity. Pandemic has thrown, and I've been part of it, where businesses are going down. There is no business interruption insurance in India covering a pandemic. We've seen cases that have come up in the UK and US, where courts have taken a view that pandemic is covered and business interruption insurance needs to respond. We don't have that in India at the moment. It is something that ought to be debated, because we as a society are family owned. Businesses are family owned predominantly, and it impacts the individual. At an organizational level, we've seen that businesses and business leaders have moved away from Adam Smith's capitalism of basically shareholder capitalism. What is now being discussed is stakeholder capitalism. Who is entitled to the residual value of the company? Because the ultimate uninsurable risk, as I call it, is that of society. You take Bhopal gas disaster, for example. The company created a pool of money, but we still have people, even after 30 years, suffering from it. Who bears that cost? It is society. It is the country. And therefore, when businesses come to me and say that we are doing CSR and we are giving back to society, my position is no. CSR is like an insurance premium being given back to the country for the risk that the society bears, the residual risk that the society bears if businesses fail or cause hurt to society. The last is society itself. We've seen some great products come up. For example, I know that AXA in the Southeast Asian region has created a country pandemic insurance product, where the health of a whole country is covered on a pooling basis by a policy given by AXA. Similar such steps have been taken by the government, for example. When government says that we will give unemployment benefit to workers who've been displaced by the pandemic, the ultimate insurance is by the government. So at every level, resilience in risk society is created in the first part by our industry. And it is our industry that plays a significant part in giving the psychological safety to individuals, organization, and society at large to allow us to continue to work in the manner that we do. With that, I'd like to end my theme address. I've passed my time. I would like to thank you all for listening to me and giving me the platform to express my views. Uh, I would like to hand back to Dr. Chaturvedi to take this forward. Thank you so much.